The belief persists that physical transformation is a linear transaction where sweat is exchanged for fat loss. This is the brute force fallacy. The biological system does not calculate hard work or discipline in its metabolic ledger. It only recognizes authorized conditions. It is a high-security encryption. Most attempts to access deep energy reserves resemble a sledgehammer hitting a digital vault. There is massive noise, significant exhaustion, and visible strain, but the door remains deadbolted. The vault does not respond to impact. It responds to a specific, timed sequence of digits. In this environment, effort is merely noise. The sequence is the signal. During the first 8 hours after nutrient intake, the body operates as a high-volume cargo harbor. Recently consumed food acts like a fleet of massive container ships docked at the pier. The cranes, driven by insulin, operate at maximum capacity to unload the crates and distribute them into the immediate economy. As long as the harbor is congested with incoming cargo, the inland storage depots remain sealed and forgotten. The system is too occupied with the logistics of the direct feed to authorize a withdrawal from the deep archives. A harbor under heavy import cannot simultaneously serve as a site for resource excavation. The presence of the ships acts as a biological do not disturb sign for the fat cells. As the timeline approaches 14 hours, the harbor sits empty, the ships have departed, the main power grid goes dark. To prevent a total shutdown, the system switches to an uninterruptible power supply. These local batteries, the glycogen stores in the muscles and liver, provide enough current to keep the lights on. However, this voltage is inherently limited, but it is not powerful enough to ignite the industrial furnaces required for heavy fat oxidation. The body enters a state of high alert waiting. It monitors the sensors, hoping the external power grid will be restored before a more permanent resource decision must be made. Between the 14th and 18th hours, the Firewall security challenge initiates. The system detects that liquid cash is nearly depleted. In response, the corporate mainframe triggers a series of loud internal alarms and system error pop-ups. This is the moment where the internal experience shifts. The brain receives signals of irritability, coldness, and urgent hunger. These are not indicators of a malfunction. They are defensive strategies. Most protocols are abandoned here because the alarm is mistaken for a system failure. In reality, this is the firewall testing for administrative rights. It is asking if there is a higher protocol in place, or if the system should revert to its default craving cycle. If the bailout is denied and the alarms are ignored, the permission flip occurs. Around the 20-hour mark, the system authorizes asset liquidation. This marks the activation of the deep-sea mining rig. The shallow minerals are gone, and the batteries are low. The body finally engages the heavy, pressurized drills required to reach the seabed reservoirs where stubborn visceral and abdominal fat is stored. The initial grinding of these drills causes significant metabolic friction. There is a temporary dip in perceived energy as the machinery spools up, but once the drills penetrate the seabed and hit the oil, the flow becomes steady and massive. The system is no longer searching for fuel. It has found the mother lode. The energy stabilizes not because of a new meal, but because the vault has finally been compromised. The body is a learning machine governed by recursive algorithms. Every time this metabolic access code is successfully completed, the biological gears become more refined. What begins as a high-friction, painful transition eventually evolves into a machine learning macro. After repeated sequences, the alarms are silenced. The system error messages stop appearing. The transition from harbor loading to deep-sea mining becomes a seamless background task that the body performs without protest. The resistance fades because the system has updated its software to favor resource flexibility over storage hoarding. The body stops fighting the protocol and starts cooperating with the reconfiguration, the final click of the vault, but the inevitable result of the correct sequence. The logic is clear. The system is not listening to how hard the heart beats or how much the skin sweats. It is listening for the absence of the signal that keeps the vault locked. When the harbor is empty, the batteries are drained, and the firewall challenge is met with silence, the body has no choice but to open the doors. This is not a matter of willpower, it is a matter of administrative access. Once the code is entered, the biology follows the command. The transition from storage mode to release mode is a strategic shift that requires patience over pressure. When the conditions are met, the results are not just possible, they are mathematically certain.